Hi there, and welcome to this episode of Consciousness Motherfucking Empowerment. Here, we talk about consciousness, the laws of the universe, and how to reach your fucking dreams. Okay, today, we're gonna go over a chapter in the Edinburg Lectures on Mental Science by Thomas Troward. We're going to go over chapter 13, In Touch with the Subconscious Mind. Okay. There's about 3 more chapters left. I think they're very short chapters, but the original, this is the last chapter. In the original book, this is the last chapter. He puts a note in the end of the book that he added these 3. And before we get started, number 1, be open to learn and apply what you're learning. If you don't apply what you're learning, why does the camera look like it's sideways? Okay, if you don't apply what you're learning, then you're not going to benefit. Okay, you're not going to benefit. All right. So if you're ready to learn, metaphorically speaking, step forward, continue watching. If not, turn this shit off or, go somewhere else. Number 2, are you ready to be the highest version of yourself? Are you ready to be your true self? To go after what you really want? Okay. Go after what you really want, not what your family's telling you, not what society's telling you, not what I'm telling you, what your heart is telling you. Okay, this is something that Thomas Troward said at the end of this chapter. He also tells us that because you can be, do, and have whatever the fuck you want when you understand this information. Okay, so now that you're ready, or if you're not, you're stepping out of the fucking gym. It's all good. All right, so let's get started. So a little bit about Thomas Troward is that he is talking about the creation of the universe and how we can use the laws or this life force that is creating everything. And he also references a lot of the Bible because he explains that Jesus Christ and, the people who wrote the Old Testament, I don't know who wrote it, but they're explaining the universal mind, okay? And then they call this universal mind God or a father. They give it a personality like a father, okay? But at the same time, it's very forgiving and it's loving, okay? But the thing is that it'll create what we want, okay, when we know how to use it. And same, the Bible warns us if we go against it, it will, it will not go well for us, okay? And the opposite of going against it is not going towards what your goals are, what your desires are, because you could have anything. When you start bringing in lack and limitation and fear and hate and anger, that limits you, okay? That puts you against abundance, against love, okay? That's what God is. God is life, love, abundance, joy, love. When you think about growth, okay, you can think about a father or a mother and taking care of a child, all right? Whether in nature or in real life, it's a loving, okay, parent, because we have that inherent principle. But when we're against it, then we're against that inherent principle. All right, so let's get started. What he's talking about here in this chapter is the fact that the universe is subjective mind and it works through the law of tendency. Its tendency is for evolution, for growth and expansion. Okay, that's its tendency. He writes, in its unrecognized working, it is the spring of all that we can call the automatic action of mind and body, and on the universal scale, it is the silent power of evolution gradually working onwards to that divine event to which whole creation moves. And by our conscious recognition of it, we make it relatively to ourselves all that we believe it to be. That is key. That is key. So he says that whatever we believe the universal mind to be, it'll become, because it is subjective, okay? It is not inductive like our conscious mind. It thinks rationally, it just accepts. So where do we connect with the subconscious mind or the universal mind? We connect it in the absolute, in the pure spirit realm, okay? That's when we connect to it. So we ourselves have to see ourselves as a divine being, okay, as pure spirit, so that we can get in touch with the divine. That makes sense? So he says, quote, we come into touch with the absolute exactly in proportion as we withdraw ourselves from the relative. They vary inversely to each other. Okay, they're inverse to each other. Relative, physical, opposite is spiritual, non-physical. Yet they are one, because everything that we have externalized is what we have asked for within and have externalized it. So if we have good conditions or bad conditions, it's because we've internalized these ideas, these tones, okay? These tones, and so they became a real thing because we cultivated them, okay? And the word tone, he uses later in this book, and so I wrote down what it means. Tone means a modulation of voice expressing a particular feeling or mood. So when you adopt a tone, you have a certain voice, right? You're modulating your expression of your feeling or mood, or both. So your tone of abundance, okay? You have a tone of abundance. You have a tone of health. You have a tone of wealth. You have a tone of health. Or you can switch it inversely and have the lack of it. Okay? And the lack of it, lack of limitation, poverty, sickness, illness, being disconnected, right? With love, you have the tone of love, of abundant love. Or you can have the tone of, not having it. So we must get in touch with this. Quote, for the purpose then of getting into touch with our subconscious mind, we must endeavor to think ourselves as pure beings, as that entity which interiorly supports the outward manifestation, and doing so we shall realize that the essential quality of pure being must be good. It is in itself pure life, and as such cannot desire anything detrimental to pure life under whatever form manifested. Consequently, the purer our intentions, the more readily we shall. I'm gonna say that again. Consequently, the purer our intentions, the more readily we shall place ourselves in rapport with the subjective entity. A fortiori, the same applies to the great subconscious mind, of which our individual subjective mind is a particular manifestation. So when he says pure being, he's talking about being good. He's talking about being a good person, not having hate towards others, because the universe wants it's only love. It only wants its manifestations to have and grow. So it is not in the invert. It's not in the negative. It's not in the hate. Okay? Frequency. So you have to understand that. The more that you understand that, the more you'll get in touch with that. Infinite power. And here I have this amazing quote that I highlighted, okay? It's kind of long. It's talking about how if you don't understand this information, you have a pretty fucked up life. If you have a messed up definition of God or the creative force, the creative power, the laws of the universe, okay? Check it out. To the uninstructed, there is little or no choice. They form a conception in accordance with the tradition they have received from others. And until they have learned to think for themselves, they have to abide by the results of that tradition. For natural laws admit of no exceptions, and however faulty the traditional idea may be, its acceptance will involve a corresponding reaction upon the universal mind, which will, in turn, be reflected into the conscious mind and external life of the individual. So whatever idea you're having repetitively, like the traditional idea of God, of the universe that you have, the one that you've adopted over and over and over again, becomes a belief. And that belief is in tune with your subconscious, which is the universal mind. Therefore, your subconscious and the universal mind will reflect that. Okay, I say it both because they're one and the same thing, okay? So God, your belief of God will be reflected upon your physical circumstances, upon your mind and your circumstances. Its acceptance will involve a corresponding reaction upon the universal mind, which will in turn be reflected into the conscious mind and external life of the individual. Whatever you accept in your mind will be manifested because the universal mind or your subconscious mind will reflect that. The ideas that you hold, that you harbor, are important because they will be reflected. But just like you created things in the past, success in the past, you can change anything that you don't like. Whatever it is that you don't like, you can change it, okay? By creating a new belief. You can even speak to the subconscious mind, okay? You can speak to the subconscious mind and tell it to take on a certain task. And I want you to work on things that really help you, right? That get you in that tone, okay? Because these are just the general rules that he's laying out for us. These are how the general rules are and function. You can impress your subconscious mind by, one, asking yourself questions. Why am I so rich? And your subconscious mind is gonna be like, okay, he's already rich. You know, why do I have a loving relationship? You know, or multiple relationships, right? Why do I have so many beautiful women in my life, or men, right? That are pursuing me? Why do I have so many romantic relationships pursuing me? That means you already have it. See what works for you. Or you can say, affirm it. I am so happy and so grateful that I am rich, that I am healthy, that I have multiple lovers, that I am successful in my work that I do. Maybe that's helping you, getting you in that tone. Let's get in the tone, okay? The tone, I'm gonna repeat it again, the definition. Tone means a modulation of voice expressing a particular feeling or mood, tone, okay? So he says this. This is a way this is just one way, okay? So again, I'm gonna quote him exactly. Quote, everyone must formulate his own way of working, but one method, which is both simple and effective, is to say to the subjective mind. Quote, this is what you gotta say. This is what I want you to do. You will now step into my place and do it, bringing all your powers and intelligence to bear and considering yourself to be none other than myself. End quote. Of the question. Having done this, return to the realization of your own objective personality and leave the subjective mind to perform its tasks in full confidence that by the law of its nature it will do so, if not hindered by a repetition of contrary messages from the objective mind. So the belief here is going to be my subconscious mind, the universal mind, does what I say. Okay, it does what I say for my good. It does good, okay? It does the good that I tell it to do. My subconscious mind does the good that it tells it to do. Okay, that's in line with that order. Contrary one would be like, I cannot create from my mind. I cannot create from my subconscious mind. I cannot have what I want, right? That's the opposite, okay? You don't want those thoughts. Those are just examples. So don't talk to yourself then that way. Be connected with the universe, with God, however, whatever term you want to use that really connects you. For me, it's I am loved by God. God is always with me and protects me. God's long arm of love and protection surrounds me in my affairs. God's long arm of love, safety, and protection surrounds me in my affairs. I can have anything I want. I have the bank of the universe. God is my supply. I love everyone and everything. I focus on loving thoughts, feelings, and expectations. So these are ways that you can impress your subconscious mind, okay? I believe I didn't share the next part of the quote that I wanted to talk about, because I want to talk about I talked about how your conception of God is the one that you've had in the past, unless you change it. So you can change it. You can have new beliefs. and he says this. I highlighted it because I liked it. Quote, but those who understand the law of the subject will have no one but themselves to blame if they do not derive all possible benefit from it. And I've gotten to this point. I remember one time in the past, I was getting mad at circumstance. So I'm like, Miguel, you got to change this. This is your responsibility. This is your fault. You can change it. It's not, my life is good. So like little things, little inconveniences, kind of like compared to, like if it were really bad. So it's your responsibility to change this, or to change your beliefs and your circumstances, because your beliefs create your circumstances, okay? So the fastest way to change your circumstances is by, one, understanding first cause and understanding how it works, how it operates, the principles, which is what Thomas Troward has taught us in this book. There's still a few chapters we're going to go over, but he has taught us this in this book. The principles of first cause and relative first cause, which is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, okay? It is subconscious. The universe is subconscious. It is a subjective mind. So you go within and you speak with the universal. You become that pure spirit, the good, willing spirit that wants good for all living things, not just one. Thomas Troward says this in this chapter. Specifically states that you must wish good for all life, not just people who are nice to you, all life, okay? People who are mean, people who are rude, the people who are in the opposite political group, everyone and everything, because everything is alive, okay? That's why Jesus Christ said, love your neighbor. That's why Jesus Christ said, believe, right? Believe as you believe it is done unto you. It is done unto you as you believe. You know, he says that you and the Father are one, okay? Father is benign. A father, a mother, is love, is kindness. And Jesus also said, what I can do, you can do, and more. Jesus was so powerful because his ability to impress his conscious mind onto those who believed him allowed those who believed him to become powerful because they accepted, their mind was open and they accepted, okay? And they went on to believe and act on it. So apply what you feel helps you the most, okay? For me, what gets me into the feeling of having it and going within is the visualization process. For me, it's visualization. The visualization process. And then repetition of affirmations. I like to repeat affirmations over and over again. I say them verbally. I like to say them verbally. Like, for example, I have more than enough money to pay for everything that I want and need. I have more than enough money to pay for everything that I want and need. I have more than enough money to pay for whatever I want and need. And then I get a sense of freedom. Then I acknowledge that. I acknowledge it. I feel free. I feel free. I am 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 free. And so those are ways that I like to do it. For health, I like to say I'm healthy. I am happy. I am healthy. I am safe. I am happy. I am healthy. I am safe. I am happy. I am healthy. I am safe. I am happy. I am healthy. I am safe. I am happy. I am healthy. I am safe. And then my body begins to move in that direction. For love, I have loving relationships. I have loving relationships. And then I go on to, it starts evolving. These affirmations evolve, then evolve into, I focus on loving thoughts, feelings, and expectations. 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 See, my energy, my vitality just increases because it is in line with the universe, with love. And then I can focus on the next thing that I want. Maybe I have multiple girlfriends, right? Then I can go into that. That's the way that I like to do my affirmations, because I get into a feeling and I get into that tone. That is a major takeaway today for me and should be for you, because you take on a tone. That tone is vibration, it's words, it's expression. You have it now. As you express that tone, you have it now, and it must manifest if you cultivate it. If you cultivate it, you hold it, you create it, you grow it. I've heard of people manifesting just because, the way I said because, just because they feel somebody next to them, like a person, right? Like a girlfriend or somebody. That's feeling. That's also visualizing, because you go in within. They close their eyes. They can't visualize the person, right? It's hard for them. So they just feel somebody next to them. It's a belief. They're with their partner. That's a tone. My partner is next to me. I feel my partner next to me, just like I did the money affirmation. I said, I feel free. So keep on cultivating your tone, your goal, your manifestation, your dream. All right. So let's create a spiritual prototype of what we want. Okay. You have it now. Just take a deep breath. Close your eyes. If your eyes are already closed, and that's good. Relax. See your desire or feel your desire as already done. Okay. Take a deep breath. Run the image, run the feeling again. Now open your eyes. How do you feel? Should be a feeling of, relaxation, of relief, of naturalness. Like, of course, right? Of course. And then when you manifest it, you're going to be like, of course. I've been seeing this. I've been affirming this. I've been had this tone of I'm rich. I manifest anything that I want. I manifest only good things. I manifest great health. I manifest love in my life, of course. Okay. So I hope you like this one. If somebody came to mind, share it with them. Okay. I hope this resonated. I know it did. It's in line with the universe. If you feel like liking this, like. If you feel like commenting, comment. If you feel like subscribing, subscribe. And until next time, I love you. Peace.